What do you mean by IoT? When you are thinking of IoT as a service, so what are the features? Okay, what are the major components of IoT? So next topic, which we are moving to the chapter 2, which says what? Design principles for connected devices. Okay, as we all know that in IoT we are going to be connected with devices. Okay, there will be multiple devices which we are going to connect it with at the single point of time. And when I talk internet, which is a public network, at times you are connected with anonymous devices also. So whenever you are connected with anonymous devices, there should be some design principles. You cannot just randomly connect to any devices at any point of time and start exchanging the information. No, you should not do it, because then your privacy concern becomes a big matter. Okay. So whenever you are designing any principle, whenever you are designing an IoT system, you have to have some principles. Okay. Principle for all the devices that you are connecting with. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to look few of the design principles for connected devices. What are devices themselves, we are going to see here. Okay, so we are also going to see what do you mean by privacy with respect to IoT, how you are going to keep the secrets, how you're going to have your confidential data. Okay, what do you mean by web thinking for connected devices? What do you mean by small pieces loosely joined in IoT or in any component? What do you mean by first class citizens on the internet? What do you mean by graceful degradation? And the last topic is what is affordances. Okay, so in this chapter 2 we are going to see each of them in detail. Let us start with the very first topic. So my very first topic is calm technology. Okay, so at times it is also referred as calm computing. Okay, so when we talk about what calm, what does it mean? Okay, in very simple terms, when I talk about what calm, it refers to silent. Okay, the very first thing when we hear about word calm, what we say? Silent. Okay, so the same term is applied here whenever any technology is doing something quietly for you. Okay, without asking or seeking attention from you, that is called as calm technology. Okay, I'll repeat again. Calm word means what? Silent. Okay, so calm technology means what? Any technology that is working quietly for you without asking your intervention, without asking or seeking your attention, that is called as calm technology. Okay, so this computing technology was come up from a researcher called as Mark Weiser. Okay, which he says that he feels that computing systems are complex in nature. Okay, though we know they are complex in nature, we should assume that they are simplified complexities. Okay, we should not assume that they are difficult complexity. So if we have assume it as simplified complexity, so things will be easier for us and we will not introduce the new complexities into it. Okay, for example, if you think any problem as simple problem, then this will not help, this will actually help you, and the new problems will really not come up because you are taking each problem as simple problem. Similarly, in technology we should also take every problem as a simple problem. Okay, if you take things simply, new ones will not be introduced. Okay, so this was his concept wherein he felt that computing systems are simplified complexity, but we should not introduce new ones. Okay, so let us see what does he says more about it. He has defined calm technology as system which don't vie for attention, yet they are ready to provide utility or useful information when we decide to give them attention. Okay, so calm technology are those systems which does not seek for attention, which doesn't tell you that give me attention, then only I'll give you information. No, these are those technology which will work quietly for you, calmly for you. Okay, and whenever you give them attention, they are ready to give you information. Okay, so that is your calm technology. So Mark Weiser have come up with this definition. In exam you are expected to write this definition. That is Mark Weiser definition of calm technology. Okay, let's see what is next. So what are the 8 principles of calm technology? So when I talk about calm technology, what are the 8 principles which we have to look into it? Okay, so the very first principle says what? Technology should require the smallest possible amount of attention. Okay, that is what your calm technology is, to be very honest. What does it tell? That technology should ask for smallest amount of attention. It should not tell that you keep talking with me, then only I'll give you information. It should be less amount of interaction, but more amount of information should be there. Okay, so when I talk about this more in detail, what does it mean? technology should communicate with you, but it doesn't need to speak. Okay, so communication can be in a form of anything. It can be in a form of sensor lights, it can be in a form of a message. So communication can be in any form. Okay, but it doesn't requires you to have interaction with you. So it can give you any indication, and accordingly it can do it for you. Okay, communication can be created to different senses. You have many sensors, so with the help of the sensors the system can communicate with you, and that is your calm technology. Instead of telling you, instead of replying back, interaction with you with voice commands, it is going to give you any type of signal, and using that signal or sensing mechanism, it will tell you. Okay, communicating the information without taking the user out of their environment or task. So in calm technology, it works within your environment, and according to that environment, it will give you the results. Okay. Second, technology should inform and create calm. So when I talk about calm technology, it should inform you of each and everything, but quietly. Okay. There should not be a big buzzer sound which tells you that your battery is running low. It can quietly also tell you by indicating with lights or by sending a message. Okay, so technology should inform you and create calm. Quietly it should do it. Okay, it doesn't need to be loud to tell or give you any information. Next, third, technology should make use of peripheries. Okay, so when I talk about periphery, it refers to, it should make use of your environment as well. Okay, it should sense your environment. It should not be always having entire attention over you. It should sense the information from the environment as well, and it can keep moving all around. It can have information from environment. It at times it can have an attention over you as well. So it should keep moving all the time. Okay, then attention should not be just at one place. Okay, it can be at multiple places at single point of time and capturing the data. Okay, next, fourth, technology should amplify the best of the technology and best of humanity. So when I talk about this, you have to every time keep this in the mind, that whenever you are designing any IoT structure, your IoT system, the technology should be designed for the people first. Okay, you have to not design the technology with very high level. It should be very simple. You should think that who are your end users, who are going to use your system. So designing for the people first is very much important in this principle. Okay, and you really cannot expect that your machine should always act like humans. Okay, machine should act like a machine only. Don't expect that machine will act like humans. Okay, so whatever you are incorporating into your system, every part of your incorporation should be best of the technology. Okay, you should see the best part of technology into your system. If you are using a sensor, the sensor should work very properly. It should give the best result, best information. Everything should be best whatever you are incorporating into your devices. So you should take care in the fourth principle, that there should be a proper balance of technology, where every technology will be amplified at the best level, as well as it should be best of humanity. It should be designed with the perspective of the people for whom you are designing. Okay, you should avoid going for high level designing. You should make your system more simpler so that it can communicate with people easily. Okay, let us move to the next, that is your fifth. Technology can communicate but doesn't need to speak. This we already have uh, done with it. So it means what? Your technology can communicate with any message, with sensors, with lights. It doesn't need to speak. Okay, so that is called as technology can communicate and doesn't need to speak. To be very honest, our product should not always rely on voice only. It can have different mechanism also, since we have embedded sensors, actuators, so there can be other mechanism also for communication. So we should not always rely on voice only for communication, because to be very honest, if you're relying only on the voice, and during cold and cough, if your voice changes, then in that case that technology will become difficult to communicate, isn't it? So you should have other mechanisms as well for communication. You should not just only rely on voice, because now most of the system have become voice recognition system. No problem, it is good, but the downside of voice recognition system is what? If you have cold or cough, then the system will not recognize your voice. So in that case, what will happen? The technology had to have some alternatives also with it. Okay, so calm technology takes a step ahead in this, wherein it does not rely on only communication, but it takes the communication in other form. Okay, by intimating you that this has to be done. Next, sixth, technology should work even when it fails. So it is very, very much important that your technology should work in or at times of failure as well. Okay, if your system fails suddenly, then there should be some backup option, there should be some alternatives, there should be there some options with you wherein if it fails, then what can be your recovery mechanism. Okay, because there is a possibility when you are talking internet as a service, there can be breakdowns, there can be at times when your system may be down, so you have to consider this designing principle as well when you are designing. Okay, next, seventh principle, the right amount of technology is minimum needed to solve the problem. Okay, don't think of making your devices very much smarter. Okay, let it be as it is required. Whatever is required in balance amount, have that only into it. Okay, whatever information is required by the system to solve minimal problem, that only it should be embedded into it. Okay, don't go for very smart system. Okay, because if your systems are very smart, your users also need to be trained accordingly. Okay, so there has to be a proper balance. The technology has to be properly into the system wherein it can solve minimum level of problems. Okay, so you should design in that way. Last, the last your principle 8, that is technology should respect social norms. Okay, it is very much important that your technology should respect the social norms. Social norms is the social environment where we all are living. So technology should not violate your social environment, it should not violate your social rules. Okay, so it is very much important that technology should start introducing more of humanity into it. Okay, rather than just being a technology. Okay, so this is your 8 principles. We'll just take a quick recap. Principle 1, technology should require the smallest possible amount of attention. Principle 2, technology should inform and create calm. Principle 3, technology should make use of periphery. Principle 4, technology should amplify the best of the technology and best of humanity. Principle 5, technology should communicate but doesn't need to speak. Principle 6, technology should work even when it fails. Principle 7, the right amount of technology is minimum needed to solve the problem. Principle 8, technology should respect social norms. So these are your 8 principles which are need to be considered when you are designing your calm technology. Okay, let us move to the next. What are the examples of calm technology? Okay, so as we have already seen, calm technology is what? Something which quietly works for you. Okay, it doesn't seeks your attention, or it doesn't tell you that give me attention, then only I'll work for you. So the very first example, it is tea kettle. Okay, to be very honest, if a technology works well, we can ignore it, isn't it? So a teapot does what? Okay, when it is ready, it's turn off, it quietly rest for the time. Okay, and it can be set and forgotten also until it sings. Okay, sings means it gives you some tone, that is called as singing. Okay, so it really doesn't require that you have to always keep your attention to it. It quietly does the task for you. So that is your tea kettle. Okay, so once the tea is ready, it will give you a sign, it will sing, or it will give you any kind of you can say intimation that it is ready. So when it is doing something quietly for you, it is a part of calm technology. Okay, second is your lavatory signs. Everybody knows that whenever we are traveling in the plane and whenever we want to go to a restroom, this is the sign here, that is your lavatory signs. So this signs, just by seeing only, you understand what its meaning. Okay, it doesn't really needs any translation. Just by seeing it calmly, it is doing, the technology is doing its task. You understand what it means to say, what it wants to say you. So that is your lavatory sign. That is your second example of calm technology. Okay, third example of calm technology I have taken here is Roomba vacuum. Okay, so Roomba vacuum is nothing but a cleaner that cleans your house. Okay, it doesn't have any spoken language, or it doesn't have some voice commands. It just has simple tones. Okay, so according to the tones, you will understand what state it is into it. Okay, when it completes the task, it gives a choppy sound. Okay, when it has stuck somewhere in between, it gives a big loud sound. Okay, and in between, if there are any problem, then it gives you orange and green lights. So that is your Roomba vacuum cleaner. Okay, so it doesn't use any voice commands for communication with you or interaction with you. Rather, it uses some sensors. We can use some lights, or it's use some tones. Okay, so when it doesn't use voice commands, you doesn't need any type of conversion. Okay, so it becomes very easy for you. Last, smart badge. Every one of us must be knowing it. Okay, these are very small wearable technologies that doesn't even require the chargers. Okay, just you have to touch your smart badges to either a door or elevator panels, and then it allows you to access to your rooms. Okay, so that is your smart badge, which is one of the Calm technology. So here I have taken 4 examples of Calm technology. If you want, then you can add your own examples as well, no problem into it, but you have to explain that what it is doing for you. Okay, so there is a tea kettle here, there is a lavatory sign, there is Roomba vacuum cleaner, and this is your smart badge. Okay, let us move to the next.